All right, problem 4 on our division of decimals review. The question is 2 and 56 hundredths divided by 8 hundredths. This slash right here, that is basically the computer way of writing this, of writing a fraction. So we have 2 and 56 hundredths divided by 8 hundredths. We know, and some of you are probably like, no, this is 2 and 56 hundredths over 8 hundredths. Yes, true. But we know that fractions are the same thing as dividing. So we divide the numerator by the denominator. So we have 2 and 56 hundredths divided by 8 tenths. This is the way that we're typically used to seeing division problems. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of the decimal in the divisor. The divisor is the second number, my group size, my number of groups, depending on the problem. This is my divisor. This right here is my total, or the mathematical term is my dividend. So our divisor, we do not want this decimal here. We want a whole number as our divisor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the decimal 2 places to the right. So I'm going to move the decimal after the 8, after any of the numbers in our problem. But really what I'm doing right there is I'm multiplying the number, our divisor, by 100, which moves the decimal 2 places to the right. If I do that to our divisor, I must do that to the dividend. Anything you do to the divisor, you must do to the dividend. Just like anything you do to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator. So I'm taking my decimal and I'm moving it 2 places to the right, multiplying it by 100, however you want to think about it. So now my new problem is 256 divided by 8. This will give us the same answer. Okay, so when we're using partial quotients, which is what we'll be doing, we'll start out by writing our problem. So we'll write 256, our dividend, inside our division symbol, and the 8 will be on the outside. And for partial quotients, we draw this long line. It kind of looks like the hangman symbol, or game, to separate what we're taking out from our number of groups. The last thing I'm going to do before I actually start the problem is I'm going to make a number bank, so that I don't have to multiply a bunch of times. So I'm going to multiply 8 times 1 is 8, 2 times 8 is 16, and 5 times 8 is 40. So there's my number bank of 1 times 8, 2 times 8, and 5 times 8. I'm also going to multiply by 10, 20, and 50. I want to get as close to 256 as possible. By just adding a 0 to the end of the 1, a 0 to the end of the 2, and a 0 to the end of the 5, I can just add a 0 to the end of the answer. So I have 10 times 8 is 80, 20 times 8 is 160, and 50 times 8 is 400. So you can see I just added a 0 at the end. All right, now 400 I can see is bigger than 256. That means I cannot take away 400 from 256. I don't need to go any further. This is as big as I need to go, far as I need to go for my number bank. So I'm going to start out by taking away the biggest number I can without going over. So I can take away 160 from 256. 160 is 20 groups of 8. So 6 minus 0 is 6. 5 minus 6. I cannot do this. Think about, if you have 5 fingers, can I put 6 of them down? No, I can't. So I need to regroup. I'm going to change that 2 to a 1 and change that 5 to 15. So now I have 15 minus 6, which is 9, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So I have 96 left. The closest I can get to that is taking away 10 groups of 8, which is 80. 96 minus 80 is 16. And then I can take away 16. I have 2 groups of 8 is 16. 16 minus 16 is 0. All I have to do now is add the number of groups I took out. So I have 20 plus 10 plus 2 is 32. Now, do I need to add a decimal? Well, technically, my decimal would be after this 6, and I don't have any numbers after that decimal, after 256. So I don't need to put a decimal. I don't need any numbers after a decimal in 32. So you could write 32 decimal, and we always put a 0 after the decimal. But I don't even need to do that because we have no decimal. So 32 is my answer. 2 56 hundredths divided by 8 hundredths is 32. We have 32 groups of 8 hundredths and 2 56 hundredths.